Hello world, my name's Natasha. If you've browsed the internet recently, you've probably encountered these pop-up banners that ask you to accept cookies or to manage cookies. They seem to be everywhere. So why exactly do websites care so much about my cookies and what are they? Let's break down this digital mystery into plain English so you can make informed decisions about your online privacy. Despite the name, website cookies have nothing to do with chocolate chips or sugar. They're small text files that websites store on your computer or phone when you visit them. Think of them like digital sticky notes so that the computer websites remember, you basically. They leave these sticky notes behind so they can remember things about you for when you come back next time. Another analogy is think about your local coffee shop. Maybe there's a place you go to regularly and the barista starts to remember you, starts to remember your name and your order, and that you like to sit at the table in the corner. Website cookies work really similarly. They help websites remember information about your visit and your preferences. So what kind of information do they actually remember? What kind of information do they actually store? Login status, for example. So if you log in once, the cookie will remember and you won't have to keep logging in over and over again. Your shopping cart contents maybe. So maybe you add something to the cart and then you close the browser to think about the purchase. When you open up the browser the next time, lo and behold, the item is still in your cart. Your language and your location. What time zone are you in? Do you prefer English or French or Spanish? Your visit history, which pages you viewed and when. It's important to keep in mind that cookies themselves, they don't contain passwords or credit card information or any other highly sensitive data. They're more like ID tags that help a website recognize you. And not all cookies are created equal. The main ones you should know are these. Essential cookies. So these are, as the word says, the necessary ones. They are essential to proper functioning of the website. So they handle things like keeping you logged in while you navigate between pages, remembering the items in your shopping cart, and just really ensuring that the security functions work overall. You can't really turn these ones off without also breaking the website's basic functionality, which is why they're called essential. Then you have your preference cookies. These are more convenient ones. So they consider things like your language settings, whether you like small text or big text, and again, like your time zone and your location. Then you have analytics cookies. So these are data collectors. They track how you use websites so companies can understand their visitors a little bit better. Think about things like which pages are more popular, how long do you spend on the site, and where do the visitors come from? So did you get to a website through a search engine or through a social media link? While these cookies don't identify you personally, they do build a user behavior picture, so kind of a profile about you. And then the cookies that people are most concerned about, these are the advertising cookies or the trackers. So they track you across multiple websites, they build profiles about you and your interests and your habits, and they show you targeted advertisements. So if you're shopping for peanut butter online and you are across a number of peanut butter websites, and then lo and behold, all of a sudden a peanut butter ad pops up onto your screen, it's not an accident. It's the result of cookies. So why are websites suddenly so concerned about your cookies? Well, it's not because cookies are new. Cookies have been around since the 90s. But what is new are the privacy law requirements. So for example, the GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation, this is a European law that requires websites to get explicit consent about cookies from its residents. California has similar laws, as do other regimes across different regions for privacy. These laws apply to any website that might have visitors from these regions, which is why you see cookie banners on websites worldwide. So when you see a cookie banner, you typically have a few choices. The first being accept all. And I'm going to be honest, it's a bit of a lazy choice that I use often. But what it means is that you're okay with the website using all types of cookies, including the tracking and advertising ones. So it's the easiest option, and I admit a little bit of a lazy option that I rely on, but it also gives you the least privacy control. So it's fine as long as you understand what you're giving up. Then there's the reject all or only essential. And so this means you'll only get the cookies that are necessary for the basic website functioning. And so your experience might be less personalized, but you'll have more privacy. Then there's the manage preferences or cookie settings options. And this lets you choose which types of cookies to allow. You might accept convenience cookies, for example, but reject advertising ones. So how do you make smart cookie decisions? Well, maybe the easiest way is to just debunk some cookie myths. So, can cookies steal my passwords or hack my computer? No, this is a myth. Cookies are just text files. They can't execute programs or access files on your computer beyond what the website puts in them. So what about clearing cookies? Will clearing cookies speed up your computer? Again, no. Cookies are tiny files that don't significantly impact performance, but if you clear them, they will log you out of all your websites. What about having to accept all the cookies to use a website? Not true. This is a myth. Legitimate websites should work with essential cookies only, though you might have some limited features. And my personal favorite, what about incognito mode? Does incognito mode prevent all tracking? No. So incognito mode prevents cookies from being stored after you close the browser, but doesn't stop tracking during your session. The bottom line is that website cookies aren't inherently bad or good. They're tools that can enhance your browsing experience or track your behavior depending on how they're used. The key is really understanding what you're agreeing to and making choices that align with your privacy comfort level. So you don't need to become a privacy expert overnight to understand the basics about making informed decisions about your digital footprint. The next time you use a cookie banner, you'll know exactly what it's asking and you'll be able to choose accordingly. If you have any other jargon that you'd like to decrypt, make a note in the comments.